Welcome everybody. Today we're exploring the V90. Look at this, the cross country. They don't make just the plain V90 anymore. This one, the cross country, it's a little higher. You have your plastic surrounding for overlanding or off-roading situations. You have your heads-up display over here. Essentially, it is the S90, but a little bit more practical. In Europe, they don't have many big cars. The XC90 would be considered a very big car. Ford Explorer, that would be a ginormous vehicle. This is certainly a lot more popular over there. That's because you have the practicality that you can go to IKEA and throw your furniture in there while still being able to park it in the smaller spots, in smaller garage spaces, and drive it like a car. It's a very gorgeous looking car, and in black, honestly, it suits it very well. On the interior, you can see the crystal. This one's the ultimate, top of the line. Only downside, I would say, to the V90, S90, well, there's a couple, but one, it could be a little bit higher for taller passengers. My wife has the S90, pretty much same platform, and I wish there was like an extra inch or two of room. But the big thing, no Polestar. Not that it's a huge downside, but the V60 is a little too small. The only option right now, since they got rid of the S60 Polestar, would be an XC60, which we actually have an XC60 Polestar. The one that you can kind of see the lights refracting, black XC60 Polestar, that is in the showroom right now. But they never bothered to make it for the 90s, the XC90, V90, S90, even though it's the more luxurious of the bunch. Look at those wheels, very nice. So let's get inside and let's take a look around. Here it is, kind of frozen up. Look at those nice lights. And in Europe, one thing I've noticed is a lot of people have very, very quiet locking mechanisms, something like this. Where in America, a lot of American cars, in parking lots, you constantly hear it, right? Well, I like that Volvo remained true because to its elements, at parking lots, it's annoying. You constantly hear, and if you have sensitive ears, you know you've locked it, and you can still turn that locking off. One cool thing is if you lower the windows just by holding, and then you can raise the windows again. And this is our V90. So they don't really produce a lot of these, unfortunately, anymore. Wagons aren't as popular in America. This is the cross country. So unfortunately, they don't make the non-cross country version anymore, at least for the American market. And with this, that's a real shame because the old non-cross country was a real competitor to the S90. I would have preferred a V90 because you get a little bit more space, at least if you're hauling. One thing you'll notice is this is the Napa leather, so it's the genuine leather, but also very smooth and comes with the knee extenders. You're able to move over here between, let me start the vehicle and show you. You're able to move between everything and see how nice that is. And notice there's 4 options where usually you'd have 3 options. So one is for the side bolsters. You can move that and see exactly which side. Next is your massage, the lounge package. Yes, that's right. It is a very rare piece of equipment that usually you'll only see on the 90s, the S, X, and the V. So very nice. Out of couple hundred Volvos we've had at this lot since I've started here, I think only 4 or 5 have had the massage. So it's pretty crazy. One of which is the one that has just arrived for my client, an XC90 that is ultimate and fully loaded. So let's get started with oh, we have to start the vehicle. That's right. Well, that's kind of important. There we go. We have lighting. That's the dust covers over there. So with everything, you're able to adjust your 4-way power lumbar, which is nice for taller passengers. your knee extenders. So now, with the lighting, it is rather bright. Now, you can see it's moving out. So for someone tall like me, this is perfect. I'm able to adjust my seat to get as much space as possible. And then in the newer massage, I feel it. There we go. There we go. Oh wow, that's such an interesting experience. So with that, there we go. Let's do 5. Let's do 3. Let's do intensity. Oh yeah. Now this is not something super crazy, but it's a nice, interesting feeling. Also for 3 modes of heated seats, ventilated, 3 modes of heated steering wheel, which this, especially on a day like this where it's 32 degrees and freezing, this will heat up very nicely. You have your wood trim. This is the same wood trim we have in my wife's S90. You have your heads-up display, which you can't see it that well, but it is there. Rain sensing wipers. Might be able to see it a little bit better now. You have the Harman Kardon, which is standard for the Ultimates. And look at how much space you have. You have a bunch of space for child seats. For wagons are perfect because you're able to move a fridge or a television. Even though the S90 is a fantastic car, the problem with it is, unfortunately, if you're trying to move anything in the back, if you open it, there's a certain width, certain height. And if anything goes over that, a table, your skis, I don't know, some random stuff, beach equipment that you're trying to move, you have to angle it correctly, or if it's a little too large, that's it. You're forced to take a different vehicle. Now again, the S90 is a luxury car. It's an executive car. A lot of Uber Black and chauffeurs have it. This is a vehicle that you're probably not going to be using for moving a lot of heavy equipment. But the V90 gives you all of the luxury benefits that the S90 does, while also giving you a little bit more practicality. And my eyes are open. We have someone who seems to be pulling into a parking space, a potential client. We might have to grab them right now. So anyways, very, very comfortable seats. Notice the little Swedish flag there. And sometimes, not in this version, but yeah, the sedans have it off to the sides over there. You have memory seats for the passenger, memory seats for the driver. You have, of course, the option to fold your mirrors. There we go, just like so. And notice they are all dimmed right now. Now, let's go to the back. This is where the real magic happens. And of course, your Aura 4 crystal shifter, which is illuminated from the bottom. So let's go outside. The key, this is for the wheels outside, the wheel locks. So you can go out and without scraping your rims, you can easily, the client's still in the car, so just monitoring the situation, easily take that out like so. Well, that was supposed to be a little bit easier, but maybe it's because it's also a little frozen. There we go, that's better. It's a little frozen. Okay, there we go. Notice there's a little bit of brake dust. That's because the car was sitting a little bit in the rain. So you just have to easily take that out and, you know, a couple loops around here, maybe 2 loops, then you'd be done. A lot of people would freak out. So that's how much space you have. You have a bunch of space for a tall guy like myself. Now, if someone tall is sitting there, probably not a whole lot of space in the back, but still, this is my favorite part. The extension of the Combi. First of all, this is a little finicky. Notice where the V is. I heard the little, I don't know why it didn't. There we go. Notice how it says cross country. You have a first aid kit. You have your all-weather cargo mat, your grocery getter, all-weather floor mats, summer floor mats. You have the front plate bracket here with parts of the manual, but you're not getting the full manual just because everything is electronic right now. Look at those lights. Very bright, very nice. Your first aid kit. And then since this is just a mild hybrid, not the full recharge, you are getting a very nice donut there. And then you are able to, of course, close it like so. That's where the real magic happens though. The amount of space and storage you have in this vehicle is fantastic. And this being the B6, 300 horses, Very nice. Oh, yeah, I'm so used to this, but this is nice. This is where everything happens. Did you see that? That is just crazy. Look at that. Wow, that's something you get straight from the luxury brands. Whew, for a fraction of the price. Pretty crazy. Oh man, again, it's a absolutely gorgeous vehicle. And then let's show you underneath the hood. This is where everything happens. This vehicle, 25 combined, 23 in the city, 29 on the highway. Everything's a little frozen, but you can see 67 and 35. My fingers sticking to the ice. Protection package, climate package, so that's standard pretty much, but on all our vehicles you're gonna start getting that comes immediately with it. So luggage cover, everything starts adding up, but the big thing is you're getting 1,000 off for Costco. You're getting a lot of discounts right now from the end of the year bonuses and sales. So on average you're getting at least $6,000, $7,000, potentially $8,000, $9,000 off of the window sticker. So to open the hood, it's usually, there we go, just under there, and it lets you know. Of course you can't drive if the hood is open. Crazy thing with the Volvos is the hood goes up pretty far high, and the reason for that is it's easier for mechanics to operate. You'll notice all the important equipment is off to the back over there, so just in case if you get into a minor fender bender, nothing too crazy is going to happen. You have your cover, so just in case you hit some pedestrians. The most important equipment is towards the back, so again, if anything really does happen, you'd have to be in a very moderate or major accident. Of course, you know, once the airbags go off, you're totaling the vehicle. But if you're in Europe and you want to repair a salvaged vehicle, it's going to be easier to repair when most of your internal components are staying put. The reason I'm mentioning this is when I totaled my S60, the engine and the transmission, most of the internals were completely fine. The front bumper was ripped off because it was off hanging, and then the tow truck, when it picked it up, it ripped it off. Part of the wheel was ripped off because I hit a curb going over 60 miles an hour. Could have been even 70 miles an hour. I honestly can't remember, it happened so quickly. So that is pretty crazy. Again, look at that. Almost a 90-degree angle there. So looks like the client is pulling away. Not sure what was going on there. So we'll take this for a quick spin. All right. Oh, look at that. Luxury. Let's get her started. Oh man. Wow. All right, so you just got it started. You have your Android. Well, yes, I understand you're crying. You need some gas, you need some fuel. We're giving it a moment to warm up here, and then you'll just say, hey Google, change the temperature to 72. It's at 68 degrees here. Give it a moment.
Sure, changing the temperature to 72 degrees.
Look at that, very nice. All right, thank you. Hey Google, navigate to the nearest Starbucks.
Sure, Starbucks.
Oh, yes. Oh, since it's a new vehicle, yes, we have to go through. Yes, there we go. Boom! Look at that. Fantastic.
Starbucks may close within 1 hour of when you arrive.
Uh-oh. That's okay. So, camera. You'll notice how it's pretty sensitive. You still have the material here. Oh. Looks like it did have its little moment there. Oh no, it pooped out. Sometimes if it happens, you just have to reset it. Sometimes there's small little flukes here and there. It's a little cold. Give it a break, right? One thing that is interesting, they don't show you the odometer anymore. It has 17 miles. They don't show you the odometer anymore. You have to click to get it. Calm mode. Well, let's try that again. Oh, looks like it completely had a little moment there. Uh-oh. So if it ever does that, you just have to hold this and reset it fully. Now, it looks like it did kind of fix itself, but just in case, we're going to fully reset it. Camera is temporarily unavailable. That is fine. That's a little weird. Let's try it again. There we go, screen cleaning mode, and then we're gonna wait for the Volvo logo, and it'll fully reset itself. Beautiful mirror. Oh yes. Now you're not going to get ambient lighting. These vehicles unfortunately don't have that, again, apart from really that. But the one good thing is these vehicles are very, oh, car's pulling around. Looks like he's looking, but he's he is not interested in buying today. Obviously, he's not sticking around, and it's not turning on. Well, that's a little awkward. Oh, there we go. Blind spot just activated. Okay, needed a couple. So one downside is the infotainment system. That's okay. You just need to give it a good old college try there a couple times. So not everything's perfect, but yeah, let's take it for a spin. As you can see, I'm not hitting my head on the sunroof. It's close, but in a lot of these vehicles, again, the ride height is pretty small compared to even an XC40 there. You can see that's a pretty small vehicle, or you know, XC60. They're going to be a lot taller. So with that, let's take it for a spin. There we go. It's a little frozen. Look at that. That's gorgeous. And now, I hope it doesn't. Oh. Let's see. Okay. That's perfect. Yeah, it's a little frozen. You can hear the ice. You have your wind visor. Goes back a little further, so if you're smoking your cigars, and then you can close it up all the way. Look at that. Look at how gorgeous. Ooh, the heated steering wheel really is turning itself up here. So let's take it for a spin. So anyways, some have 295 horsepower, such as this one. Some have 313. Some technically up to 330 if you're putting the Polestar. But Polestar, I was told, gives you anywhere from 6 horsepower to, you know, from 313, 330, an extra 17 horsepower. So not a huge difference. We are passing the Mercedes Combi there, which you saw just for a brief second. It is a very comfortable ride, and I love the heated steering wheel. So just driving around and taking everything for a spin, it is a vehicle that you certainly feel the luxury aspect, but it's a vehicle that doesn't stand out. It's not a vehicle that you buy that the neighbor goes, oh my God, you've got a Mercedes or a BMW, and wow, this is crazy. It's more like, okay, this is a gentleman who's caring about the family, about practicality, about, most importantly, safety. And then if you want to, brakes and acceleration very good and everything. There's always that little bit where, yes, this is a vehicle that you can use just like any other normal premium luxury vehicle. If you are late to work, you can accelerate very quickly. But this is mainly a vehicle that is going to take you to IKEA to get those cabinets. And that's, honestly, IKEA is one of my favorite stores. That's what I'd be using it for. I saw a guy loading up his 5 Series, and they're great cars. Don't get me wrong. People think I hate BMW or Mercedes. No, I love it. I'm a car guy. I absolutely love it. I think they're fantastic. But I would get a Combi. I would get a Combi 5 Series. I'd get a Combi Wagon. I'd get a Combi Mercedes Volvo. I'd get Combi whatever it is. And maybe that's because I grew up in Europe. Well, I didn't grow up. I grew up around here. But I spent 4 years in Europe, and I saw them everywhere. I barely saw SUVs. And when you did see an SUV, it was a massive undertaking. I decided Wagon's the way to go. Plus, I love sedans. I love being low to the ground. It feels more like a car. You feel like you're more in control. There's just something special to it all. And honestly, I know I'm probably not the best reviewer here, but I'm just such a fanboy of these things. The one thing I will add, though, is the old generation. Again, with this being a cross-country, I understand, but I wish they gave you both options, and I get it, because they removed one of the options due to this not being as popular of a car, so they don't want to make too many of these units and then have them not sell and stick around for the next year, and they lose money and all that. But the one thing I would add is if you're going in Ultimate, and I did have a couple clients complain about this, my wife's S90 is similar, is there's no more leather for the gentle leather for the mirrors. There's no more suede or Alcantara. It is just this. It's a soft material, but it's not as soft as the beautiful suede. It was a delightful touch, and even the most fully loaded Volvo now is not going to come with it. So it's something I do miss deeply. I do miss the option to turn off your auto engine stop start, and I'm sure that's something to do with the 48 watt 11 horsepower mild hybrid battery, but a lot of our clients miss that. So it is something where I did have one client for sure that we missed out on a sale because that was very important to them. Some people missed the compass that was here, and yes, your compass is through here, through maps. There is a option, there's that ability for it. Essentially, you know, it tells you, hey, there we go, you have your compass perspective, which way's north, right? There's your compass right there. But a lot of people, the elderly crowd, were surprisingly a lot of elderly clients for Volvo, right? They're focused on safety. They miss that. I've had clients where they said for locking mechanisms, oh, there we go. Locking mechanisms, there's no more lock. There's no way to lock it. So it's these small little things, small little changes that, I don't know, are a little random. Some people wish there was a wireless charger here. They removed the wireless charger because it was charging too slow and made the phones very hot. And here's a little key holder, but they wish there was more space. You know, there's always going to be somebody who complains. The one valid complaint is I wish there was a space that you could get your cable from for Apple CarPlay. And the big thing is, if you're looking for a, say, XC90 or a V90, I don't know if you could have seen it, but it is down there. I wish I could with the second hand. There is an option for the passengers there for USB-C. You plug the cables in and you're able to drag that out, and a longer cable, and you'll be fine. It won't be cutting through. But we won't have to worry about that next year with wireless CarPlay. But it is just these small little things. But anyways, with that was the V90, a gorgeous vehicle. And still the steering wheel is very, very warm when you get out. That is the V90 Cross Country B6 all-wheel drive Ultimate. So with that, I bid you guys farewell. Look at that tail end. And have a good night. Take care. And here's the Mrs. car. Long, very long, with the peasant blockers, the curtains, I mean. But as you can see, over here, where you open it, it is pretty tight. So definitely, it's a long car, but sometimes the wagon can certainly help. Depends on what you're using it for. Ultimately, you know yourself best. Choose the one that's going to be best for your lifestyle.